Today we'll be looking at JER 114, which is a revision of JER 111. News reporting has changed for me in the spring semester in finding a better understanding than that had in JER 111, seeing stories operate more expressively on just bare facts, learning especially in these past 6 weeks that a great story can come from this, regarding the lead as a key component to the story that will act as an umbrella for the story, covering all aspects. News leads have always been problematic for me, never appropriately suiting and portraying the story. It comes down to missing targets of the who and what in a story, in regards to the 5 W's in news writing of who, what, when, where, and why, the story never shaping to its potential. In news writing from Anna McCain, we are told the principles of the 5 W's, how to build a good intro, and set out a strong news story. News writing provides us with the ways to have a news story work efficiently and effectively, and it sets it out in a manner that appears often too easy. News writing itself operates in a more tireless fashion. It will appear simple in the end, but there is a long process to get there, and it is something that I have contended with, and slowly became more conscious of, as we progressively turned out stories every week. News writing tells us in a smart way that news writing is an art of persuasion, as it is. We have to win over an audience in as few words as possible, making it engaging and meaningful for them so that they want to read. News stories in the last few weeks show a better understanding of this in the news writing, but a persistent problem for me has been the use of language and expression that has made stories sound confusing. News writing was troubled in adorning colourful language to make it sound smart, but having no real worth. Feedback for JER 111 shows this, and it hit home for me, knowing that I rely so heavily on making an exciting story rather than one that is informative. Appealing in some ways, the integrity is lost in the bad expression. News writing to me now tells news first and foremost. Not always exciting, as it has to be dry and keep only bare facts so a reader understands. News writing is not helped in adorning smart language. It confuses the story and the expression. News writing is seen more as a vehicle for knowledge and informing, but it is easy to lose sight of this, especially in making deadlines each week. News writing that shows this understanding and growth can be seen in the JER 114 portfolio, taking more time to simplify stories and to make sure they were clear and the expression was fluent, not ruled in bias or personal opinions of those or mine, and importantly that it had been objective in all matters, a matter I am still quite not accustomed to, and it still remains troubling for me. News writing, as I understand more from this, functions better with less wording on the page. It allows a field to play with the hierarchy of the language and the importance within the story better, and it operates in a freer manner, offering a handy working environment to fix errors and refine the piece. News writing in one-sentence paragraphs, as we have used, dictates a need for precise wording, forcibly making us think more about the work and how we can concentrate a story into a 300-word article. News rounds. News rounds gave us an opportunity to write for varying types of news. For me, it was a daunting task of writing for health and community, and then police and council, the latter having strict guidelines and stipulations, it seemed, needing particular attention. Surprisingly though, the actual process of writing for council and police was simple, as it was for all rounds, appearing much worse in my head. News rounds made us speak to people that we might not have otherwise been privy to have known, particularly for me, the councillors on the Sutherland Shire Council Board, whom became mentors to me, teaching me more professional practice and guiding me to get responses more promptly, preparing questions and being more agile in responding intelligently, having researched more thoroughly too. News reporting in rounds for JER 114 has opened new opportunities and the potential for work. Especially in the latter part of semester, I had spoken to people in the council. This gave me an honest appreciation of their work, and it has made me think about council as a possible career move. Deputy Mayor George Capsis was inspirational. He has responsibilities he tends to and handles marvellously, juggling council, community service and work, and his ministerial work as a Baptist minister. People like George Capsis proved a point to me that we are only mediators, acting as a vehicle for others to tell their story. We provide the story to the community as a means to public awareness. And despite disparaging views, we should be motivated in letting people know the issues in the community regardless, letting them make their own convictions on this. News reporting in JER 114 has opened an avenue on new thoughts on news writing and made me think and take a less privileged position when looking at news writing. News writing in the autumn semester appeared to me to be taking the fun out of writing, but news writing is not the place to be exciting. News writing is a privilege, and that requires a sound mind and appreciation of what people want to say. Reporters must respect people for what they want to say. Show an interest and awareness that the story is not about you, it is about them. News writing is there to serve the public and the public's right to knowledge. It is key to news writing and an appropriate story. It must never serve the means to a selfish cause or personal gain. This is a violation of that privilege. This is Sean Serpa, signing off. Gracias and ciao, my amigos.